Yeah. Hello guys. Shashank sir will be live in few minutes. शशांक सर से मेरी अभी अभी बात हुई है. वो 5 से 10 मिनट में ही विल बी लाइव एंड देन वी विल बी कंटिन्यू. एंड एक्चुअली बहुत लोग यहाँ पे अभी तक जुड़े नहीं हैं. लाइक वी आर चेकिंग विद एवरी पार्टिसिपेंट. हमारे पास 110 से 120 फॉर्म्स थे. सो वी हैव अ एवरेज कि हमारे पास 100 लोग जुड़े. लेकिन देखिए आप कितने लोग जुड़ते हैं. सबको तो मिल गया था. लेट्स सी. और लेट देम ज्वाइन फर्स्ट. कुछ लोग अभी धीरे धीरे ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं. धीरे धीरे नंबर्स बढ़ रहे हैं. सो जस्ट 5 मिनट्स. वेट फॉर 5 मिनट्स. क्या हेलो एवरीवन, आज हम लोग बिजनेस मॉडल पे एक सेशन लेने वाले हैं जो कि शशांक कुमार सर लेंगे। शशांक कुमार इज को फाउंडर ऑफ देहात एंड ही इज आल्सो अ फोर्स 30 under 30 एंड ही इज सेइंग हाय टू एवरीवन। सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आप सभी जानते हैं कि शशांक कुमार, अगर आप बिहार से हैं या इंडिया में कहीं से भी है तो यू मस्ट नो अबाउट शशांक सर। और अभी अभी देहात को रिसेंटली आप सभी ने न्यूज में भी सुना होगा कि रिसेंटली देहात गॉट फंडिंग फ्रॉम सिक्वा कैपिटल। सो आज हम लोग के लिए बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि आज उनसे सीख सकते हैं, हम सभी कनेक्ट होकर सीख सकते हैं और उनकी जर्नी के साथ, या उन्होंने कैसी जर्नी अपने है ना फेस की है, या उनसे जो भी आपको सजेशन लेना है या आपको जो भी नॉलेज लेना है वो अभी है ना हम लोग के बीच में गाइड करेंगे। सो एवरीवन इज लाइक 25 people are joined and more are joining. Okay, so sir, shall we continue, sir?
Hi Rohit, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's start. Thanks Rohit. इस कॉल को फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन। आई होप कि सभी लोग इस पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन में सेफ होंगे, सुरक्षित होंगे अपने सारे टीम मेंबर्स के साथ, फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ। and I just wish that everyone will be safe going forward and that's a request. तो जैसा मुझे बताया गया है, रोहित ने बताया है फर्स्टली, तो आई थिंक आई मेट रोहित फ्यू मंथ्स अगो एंड जो मुझे सबसे अच्छी चीज लगी कि रोहित का जो काम है मैत्री में वो एक एंटरप्रेन्योरियल इकोसिस्टम बिल्ड करने के डायरेक्शन में एक कोशिश है। एंड मुझे लगता है कि ये एक ऐसी चीज है जो कि बहुत ज्यादा जिसकी जरूरत है इन जनरल। लेट्स से मेरे केस में 2011 में जब शुरू किया था अपनी एंटरप्रेन्योरियल जर्नी, तो उस समय में इतना ज्यादा इकोसिस्टम था नहीं, इतने सॉर्ट ऑफ स्कूल्स फॉर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स या इतने इंक्यूबेशन सेल्स, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल सेल्स, ये सब होते नहीं थे। इवन सो आई वेंट टू IIT दिल्ली, आई ग्रेजुएटेड फ्रॉम IIT दिल्ली इन 2008। उस टाइम पे कॉलेज में भी इस तरह के कोई क्लब्स या ऐसा नहीं होते थे, स्पोर्ट्स के, कल्चरल के, डिबेट, ये सारी चीजें होती थी, बट उस टाइम तक कॉलेज में भी ऐसा कोई एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप सेल या इस तरह के क्लब्स नहीं होते थे जो आज के समय में हैं। तो इन जनरल अच्छा लगता है, बिकॉज लगता है कि इस तरह के जो इकोसिस्टम के जो एक्टर्स हैं जब वो आते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के लिए एक सपोर्ट या इंस्पिरेशन मिलता है। जैसा रोहित ने मेरे को बताया, मतलब काफी टाइम से मेरी कोशिश थी कि मैं आप सभी लोगों से इंटरेक्ट कर पाऊँ, बट आई थिंक इट वाज डेस्टिन्ड फॉर टुडे एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई एम हियर इन फ्रंट ऑफ ऑल ऑफ यू। सो सबसे पहले तो आप सभी लोगों को कंग्रेचुलेशंस, बिकॉज as I am told that many of you have already started your entrepreneurial journey and few of you are about to start your entrepreneurial journey. तो हर तरह के लोगों को सबसे I would congratulate, क्योंकि मेरी नजर में जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट स्टेप है वो यही है। पहला स्टेप ही सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हाँ, मुझे एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है या फिर मेरे को अपना कोई स्टार्टअप शुरू करना है, जो भी रीजन हो, जो भी कॉज रहा हो, जो भी ट्रिगर पॉइंट्स रहे हों, जो भी मोटिवेटिंग फैक्टर्स रहे हों, लेकिन आधी दुनिया के मेजॉरिटी, मतलब मोर देन 90% जनता इसी उधेड़ बुन में अपनी शायद लाइफ खत्म कर देती है कि मैं ये रिस्क कैसे लूं। बहुत लोग ये प्लंज ले ही नहीं पाते, सोचते रह जाते हैं। सभी के मन में कहीं ना कहीं एक आस होती है, कसक होती है, एक आइडिया होता है, सोच होता है कि हाँ यार मैं भी कुछ अपना करूं, स्टार्टअप करूं, बट वेरी फ्यू कैन गो अहेड, वेरी फ्यू people come forward and take this plunge. तो वहां पे आज जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स यहाँ पर हैं, या रोहित या मैत्री से भी जुड़े जितने लोग हैं, उन सभी लोगों को कंग्रेचुलेशंस, बिकॉज उन लोगों ने जो पहला जो स्टेप है, एंड एज आई सेड अर्लियर कि मेरे नजर में ये सबसे मुश्किल और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप होता है, तो वो हमने ले लिया है ऑलरेडी। तो अपना आधा काम तो हो गया, ठीक है, कि हमें एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है। और क्यों मेरा ऐसा मानना है, क्योंकि एक बार जब मेंटली इंसान प्रिपेयर हो जाता है कि मेरे को एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है, उसके बाद बाकी सारी चीजें फिर सेकेंडरी हो जाती हैं। उसके बाद बाकी सारी चीजें सेकेंडरी हो जाती हैं इन अ वे। व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ challenges let's say we are facing as an entrepreneur, whether I have enough resources or not, whether let's say I'm getting good feedback from customer or not, बाकी सारी चीजें सेकेंडरी हो जाती हैं, because everything, because mentally as an individual you are prepared to become an entrepreneur or to take your startup to different levels. So I'm assuming that that most of the participants today are very early stage entrepreneurs, and that's why most of my, let's say, content or statement will revolve around that assumption that many of us are, let's say, 0 to 2 years old entrepreneur. Many of us are still, let's say, pursuing some sort of courses in a college or in a school. So that's my pre-assumption. And then with that pre-assumption, probably now I'll start. And largely, I think nothing very new, but it's always good to hear, from different people, all I can say. So while sharing my journey, I will tell you that why during early stage these things are important. So for example, let's say in my case, I don't come from business background. I belong to a very lower middle class family, pure service class background. I belong to Bihar. Then because of job, because of studies, I had to stay away. And then in 2011, I thought that, hey, so let's do something in agriculture. Okay, I mean, there was a lot of calculation, a lot of analysis, a lot of brainstorming involved. That why agriculture, why it boiled down to agriculture. That's a separate discussion altogether. But when the first thing, the first moment when I thought of entrepreneurship, so then right from that moment, probably I started, preparing myself as an entrepreneur, right? Because I knew that probably being from a service class family, probably I might not have very strong, let's say, family support for that matter. Or maybe I might not have a risk-taking appetite in my blood or in my DNA for that matter. And right, so the first thing what I did, and by that time, in fact, honestly speaking, by that time, even the idea of Dehat or idea of getting into agri was not there in the picture at all. But there was just one thought that that there is a very strong inclination, there is a very strong soft corner towards entrepreneurship. I graduated in 2008, worked as a business consultant for 2.5, 3 years. I had a choice to go for MBA, but I decided not to go for MBA. And then I thought that no, so entrepreneurial journey is my destiny. So very first thing what I did, that I started talking to as many people as possible. Right, so I started so through my formal, informal network, through my college network, seniors, just with no objective, just started talking to as many people as possible. That all right, I'm thinking to start something my own. Let's say idea is related to agriculture. What's the model? Don't really know. So just started talking to as many people as possible. Right, I mean, whether the counter person is from agriculture background or not, but mostly people who had understanding of this entrepreneurial journey by that time. So for example, I'm talking about year 2009 and 10 when I was still in job, but I had a thought that that let's say entrepreneurial journey has to be started. So I met Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani, who started, of course, everyone knows him, founder of Naukri.com, or very veteran entrepreneur, now a veteran investor as well. Then Mr. Murthy and many people, many senior, many veteran entrepreneurs, just to get a feel, just to take gyan, right? And I think objective and where those interactions helped me, because at least I could learn from them, right? Many things I could learn from their experience, and I think that is something what now you guys are doing. You guys are trying to achieve, let's say, in this session as well, or maybe through platform like Maitri, or maybe through platform like any other cell. So that was the one thing. I mean, with no kind of specific agenda, but just to get the vibe, talk to as many people as possible regarding your idea, because that's the first step where you get confidence. Because when you speak to 10 people, out of 10, let's say 6, 7 people, basically they support, they give you positive vibes, and then as a person, basically you get motivated. So that was the one thing. Then the very next thing which came to my mind, that team, because any startup, it does require team, and especially, let's say in my case, it was agriculture. Uh, at my individual level, I did not have much idea about agriculture, to be very honest, right? But still, what will be the team? So then again, in my own network of let's say different IITs or different peer group, I started talking to people, and with the same thing that I, so I'm very much determined. I'm going to resign my job, consulting job, and probably I'll be going back to Bihar. I'll start something in agriculture in a very transparent way. Huh? No sugarcoating, nothing. That that I have done this and that, all those things. No, it's in a highly transparent way. That it's just a thought, but I'm determined. Huh? And then within a year and a half, again I was fortunate because of that intention, because of that exercise, I could form a very strong core team of DeHaat, like-minded people of 5-6 people from different IIT, different IIM Ahmedabad, or maybe and let's say I'm talking about a group size of 5-6 people, and I'll be honest that out of these 5 people, like 3 were completely unknown to me. Right? It's not like that, that those 3 people, who became part of core team of DeHaat, I knew them earlier. It was not like that, right? But again, I mean, intention was very clear that I need to form a team with complementary skill set, and let's say without having very much idea of the model, but let's say in this entire world, can I find few people who are ready to share the dream? And that's why, as I said earlier, that in a short span of year and a half, they have had a core founding team of 5-6 people. Where it helped us, honestly speaking, because in agriculture, as you all know, it's a highly uncertain sector, right? Things are slightly difficult to predict, unlike many other sectors. And in our case, it took more than 2.5-3 years to define the model. What should be the right model? That's fine that in agriculture there are a lot of inefficiencies, basic things we knew, but still, what will be that model? What will be the unique proposition? What will be the model? It took us 2.5-3 years to discover that. And by that time, of course, let's say our revenue traction was very negligible. Neither we had strong support of investors, right? Neither we had any bankers, nothing, right? I mean, we all had been using our own resources. But even during those 3 years, when the number of challenges were infinite, but despite of this team of 5-6 people, they remained together. I remember at that time, I'm talking about 2011 to 2014, and during those days, I mean, we did not have even office at Patna, and we used to operate from different villages, and we used to have our small warehouse in Vaishali district of Bihar at Vaishali. We all used to live just in the backyard of that warehouse, and I think the good part was that since the core team was intact, with a vision, with a thought, with a dream, and that's why day-to-day challenges, obstacles, rejections, we never really bothered. So that was the kind of one accomplishment because of strong team. And then by 2013 or 2014, when we got the clarity to build a full stack platform for farmers, that let's build a platform which will provide complete end-to-end services to farmers, right from buying agricultural input to getting customized advisory, to selling the farm produce, to getting the credit, to getting the insurance, everything, and a scalable model, right? So I'm talking about it's a complete value chain from farm to kind of business, right? So it's all B2B. We don't go till the last individual consumer. It's not B2C, but it's B2B. So when we got this clarity of this model of complete 360-degree agricultural services, and all these 5 people, in fact, so we were not from agriculture background. None of us had studied agriculture, right? So while let's say while Manish graduated from IIT Kharagpur, Amrendra was computer engineer from NIT Jamshedpur, Adarsh was mechanical engineer from IIT Dhanbad, Shyam did his chemical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, then he went to Ahmedabad. Abhishek did his MBA. None of us had studied core agriculture. Huh? But the day when we got this clarity, right from that day, we started building our core competency. Right? So then one of us One of us chose, let's say, the back end. One of us chose the technology part. One of us chose the front end. One of us chose the kind of, let's say, entire fundraise process. One of us chose the kind of, the supply chain. So we knew that, that let's say within organization, as a kind of, promoter, as a founder, we need to have core competency of the entire business model. What I'm trying to say here, guys, that, that once you get the idea, once the model is clear, so then the first and the next immediate step is to go deeper and to kind of, to just develop the deep knowledge of your sector or deep knowledge of your solution, because this is your dream, right? You can't build a company, with your employees, right? I mean, you need to be really, really, creative, innovative, and that's not possible without deep knowledge, understanding of your sector or of the solution you are trying to build. And if you are unique in terms of your thought, if you are differentiated in terms of knowledge, then only probably you will be able to attract other, people, customer, investors, for your company. So just to sum up till this point, what I said, that the first thing I said, that the day when you decided to become an entrepreneur, or you have some idea, some enlightened bulb, right? The first thing, just talk to as many people as possible, because every idea, every thought has two different perspectives, right? So one side of heart will say that go, one side of heart will say no, don't go, right? So while answering this go or no go questions, talking to different people really helps you. And the selection of these people has to be very, very careful, because your subconscious mind wants to hear go. And that's why the selection of people has to be done accordingly, right? So the first thing I said, that talk to like-minded people, as many people as possible, and to learn from their experience, right? The second point, and I said that part is clear. The second is build your team. Build your team with complementary skill set. Build your team who is ready to share the dream at any cost, without any condition. Because by that time, probably your model might not be ready, right? By that time, your final destination might not be ready, right? I mean, in a layman language, in a candid way, I always talk internally that, that, hey, so what we did initially, we just kind of, we just hired a bus. And then we were talking to people that, hey, so who all are ready to get into this bus? While, let's say, I was on the driving seat. Where that bus has to go, we didn't have idea. Why didn't we have idea? Because we didn't have idea of the route. We didn't have idea of the weather. We didn't have idea of the road condition. We didn't have idea that, that how much fuel we'll have. But we just had one aspiration that, no, we'll take this bus to a very, very, very long journey, right? So that's what I said, that second point, that build your team with a complementary skill set and with shared vision. And then third is what I said, that in the day when idea is clear, team is ready, so then start getting deeper, 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 right? Because with more knowledge, you get more confidence, you get more scope of adding value to your company. So these are the three preliminary steps, I think, what somehow I followed at Dehat. And it happened, honestly speaking, it didn't happen, it was not intentional, right? It was not planned. It just happened over the years, right? I mean, we did a lot of mistakes, and after all those mistakes, basically, kind of we followed these pathways. So in a way, that's an opportunity for all of you to kind of to stick to these templates, and that's the entire objective of building an entrepreneurial ecosystem. And that's where I strongly believe that Rohit and Matthew, they are doing a phenomenal job. So that was the one part, right? Now I'll move to a couple of other things. So just a second. So now let's say your idea is ready, your team is ready, and then with the deeper dive, you have deep or very strong, let's say, sectorial understanding as well. So now this is the time of action, right? So then your entire team will put effort to build traction, to acquire customer, to sell, or to innovate, to product design, and all those things. Now here, of course, things vary from sector to sector. Things vary from from startup to startup. Things vary from region to region, for that matter. But personally, I'm a strong believer of, you know, of perseverance. You know, just go on and on and on, right? I mean, uh, I, I mean, whenever I look back and I said that, you know, that year 2011, I started, it's been almost 9 years, despite of the fact that, you know, that uh, we, when our team size was three, two total, two today when team size is close to 300, despite of the fact that, you know, that when we were working with less than, I mean, only 15 or just handful number of farmers, versus today when we are working with more than 212,000 farmers, right? Despite of the fact that when we had zero revenue versus, let's say, you know, we have like huge revenue sets, despite of the fact that when we did not have any investor, you know, in our company, versus now we have a kind of, you know, series of investors. But one thing which was common over the years, that that energy level, the dedication, the effort, it was constant. So once you chose to become an entrepreneur, you can't afford luxury, to be very honest. And the idea is not to discourage you here, but you can't afford not to be disciplined. You can't afford not to be consistent. You can't afford, you can't say that, hey, so आज तो संडे है, थोड़ा आराम कर लेते हैं, राइट? और आज तो ये सब लोग तो दिवाली मना रहे हैं, दशहरा मना रहे हैं. It's not like that, right? I mean, so because it's not a 1 day, 1 week job, boss. It's a long marathon. It's a long marathon, right? So for example, one of the very interesting, you know, article I was going through once, and it said that, hey, so in our life, all of us, irrespective of our background, we achieve, let's say, 7 to 8 important milestones in our life. Important, huh? Whether it's personal or professional, but 7 to 8 important milestones. These are just subjective terms, but this is true with any individual, that, you know, that in our own life, we all achieve more than or minimum 7, 8 milestones. So for example, when I look back, right, so I come from a very small town of Bihar, and then those days getting into a school like Netarhat, I mean, it used to be a matter of pride, right? So let's say when I got to when I completed, when I got through the entrance examination, probably that could be one milestone, right? Getting into, let's say, IIT Delhi could be another milestone, right? Or maybe getting a state rank in class 10 could be another milestone, right? Getting a great job from IIT, another. Maybe, you know, starting your own venture, maybe getting into Forbes list, maybe raising funds from Sequoia, multiple things. It's very subjective, huh? But then in the same article, then it asks that, can you identify that which part was more tough, or which part was tougher, or which part was toughest, right? So for example, getting into good school at the age of 6, when more than 12,000 students were appeared in the examination for a total seat of, let's say, 70, was that tough? Or let's say getting into IIT, where more than 250,000 students appeared for a seat of, let's say, 3,000 students, that was tough. Or maybe once you got into IIT and then getting placed in a good company, or was that tough? Or maybe, let's say, when you started your venture, when early days, nobody was really kind of, you know, ready to support you. Nobody was really convinced, neither your, let's say, family members, nor farmers, nor bankers, but still you survived, right? I mean, you sustained, you built a large organization. Was that tough? Or maybe, let's say, raising funds from Sequoia, right? I mean, which is a global VC, and let's say, I mean, daily what they say that, you know, that daily they receive more than 400, you know, applications of you know, from different startups. And out of that 400, I mean, there is no guarantee that they will choose just 1 or 2. No. Was that tough? So just think, right? I mean, let's say even in your life, if you have achieved, let's say, 4 or 5 milestones, which milestone was tough or tougher or toughest? Think deeply. The real answer is that each and every milestone has same degree of toughness. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. We can't say that, that let's say कि नहीं school में जाना आसान था, IIT में जाना tough था. No, we can't say that. Each and every milestone in our life, right, has same degree of toughness. It's just a matter of time that, that let's say at what stage of your life you are currently, what sort of resources you have currently. The reason I share this example, because guys, whether you are at day zero, whether you are at day zero of your entrepreneurial journey, or you are at, let's say, 2 years old, or let's say you have raised, let's say, millions of dollars of funds, or let's say you have become unicorn, nothing gets changed, right? Because you need to be consistent with your effort. And that's the real entrepreneur, right? Things change, milestones change, targets keep changing, aspirations keep changing. So I think that should be the aspiration. And I think on that note, I don't know what's the time instruction, Rohit. 3:30. I think I took 30 minutes. How do you want to go? Do you want me to continue, or do you want to answer, take few questions here?
Our ending time is 4. So actually, if anyone has any question, they can ask. They can ask question on chats, and I will repeat that question. Okay. So start asking question. So बाकी सब तो बाद में पूछेंगे.
So आप questions लिखे while people are writing their questions, just closing remarks, guys, that prepare yourself as a true entrepreneur means ready for a long marathon. Build a strong team if you all are at early stage, because team is something, right, which will always be with you, right? I mean, your customers may come, may not come, your investors may come, may not come, but the team will remain with you. And thirdly is like, go deeper. Try to, get as much knowledge as possible of your sector. And last not the least, what I said, like once you are ready to transact, once you are ready for traction, then be consistent. Right. And this is what, again, I mean, as I said, right, I mean, let's say in past 6-7 years of our life, I mean, we have seen that you just, with your consistent effort, how kind of, you get different opportunities, right, which you had never expected, which was kind of, nowhere in the picture. And then suddenly you got opportunity, right? It all could possible because you were there in the race, right? It was all possible because you were kind of, consistent with your hard work and effort, right? I think that's one philosophy of my life, that whichever stage you are at your venture, you need to have same passion, same energy as you had at day 1 or day 0. So thanks, guys. I think that's all from my side. We'll be happy to take questions, and I can see the questions.
Yeah, Manish had asked the first question. उनका question है कि अगर कभी भी स्टार्टअप करते हैं तो फ्रेश आइडिया के बारे में कैसे सोचें. First question is that how to think about the fresh idea.
Okay, Manish, and do you want me to answer the question in English or Hindi, or either way is fine? Manish?
It will be good if you go with English, because some of them are from South. Okay, some of them are from Tamil Nadu. And
sure. So Manish, so the answer here is that, and again, this is not my kind of, my or this answer is not, let's say, invented by me. In fact, again, as I said that, that when, I mean, in the year of 2009 and 10, I was in a process of meeting different people, different events and all those things. And again, I mean, so I asked this question again to one very senior and veteran entrepreneur of this industry, in travel industry. And same question, really, right? I'm talking like when I was 24 years old, and asked the same question. And the answer I received, it was very touching. So maybe I can just give the same answer to you. So see, one, let's say, I mean, from management point of view, right? I mean, the basic gyan is the idea has to be scalable. You need to see that, that whether the idea is really solving some problem or not. The problem this idea is solving, what's the total market size of problem, right? So for example, let's say in our case, if we are trying to solve problems of farmers, in India, we have more than 120 million farmers. So that's fine that today, let's say Dehati is working with 211,000 farmers, but still, as a team, we remain motivated that in India, still we have millions of other farmers to reach, right? So the idea has to be scalable. The market size has to be big enough. And more importantly, I think, and according to me, this is the most important part, is that the idea, does it really excite you or not, right? Because problems to aayenge, challenges to aayenge pakki baat hai. And without challenges, I think there'll be no fun of success as well. But if you are really excited about the idea, then only you will remain positive and motivated. So, but again, I can share you the answer I received. When I asked this same question to someone, he said that ask yourself. Let's say if you're working on if you're working on an idea, and while working on that idea, assume that for 5 years, you do not get success, right? So you don't get traction, you don't get kind of investor, you don't get major kind of outcome of that idea. Then, so this is the kind of let's say background. So you're working on an idea, and for 5 years, despite of your best effort, you don't get success. Will you still continue working on that idea? If your answer is yes, and this question you have to ask yourself, if the answer is yes, that means that you're working on a right idea. And the flip side, Manish, is that if you are working on the idea, it will not take 5 years. I hope I answered the question, Manish. What's the next question, Rohit?
Next question is, the most important question is sustainability. Main problem is sustainability in every startup. So how to create a sustainability in startup, and how to make sustainable startup.
So sustainability, I think sustainability is the byproduct of two things. Firstly, how efficient you are in your process. Because if you're efficient, so then your cost will be optimized. And then the second is that what's your value proposition for your customer? Because if value proposition is clear, so then you will not have problem around traction and revenue, right? So your revenue will be ensured because of the efficiency, your cost will be optimized, sustainability will be ensured. Again, that's the theory. However, again, I strongly believe that as an entrepreneur, we should always learn, and considering you all are very early stage entrepreneur, we should learn to kind of cut down your expenditure, right? I mean, we should learn, because I mean, despite of, let's say, if you have enough resources, but still during your early days, this is something which really helps. Again, I mean, I'm just saying all these things based on my experience, that it really helps you, right? So for example, let's say in my case, I mean, when I was in job, used to get very good salary, and when you get out of college and immediately you get good salary, then you get habit of spending a lot, all meaningless expenditure and all those things. But again, I mean, when I decided to become an entrepreneur, I realized that probably I am not ready as of now, right, to become an entrepreneur. It took me 1 year. It took me 1 year just to prepare myself to become an entrepreneur. And this 1 year, it was mostly to cut down my expenditure, right, to spend in a kind of in a proper way, in a meaningful way, right, to be disciplined, not to get deviated while seeing what other people are doing, right? So those are the things. But yes, to answer your sustainability, and again, considering this scenario of COVID, where multiple sectors are going to be impacted, where let's say number of investments, number of deals are going to be cut down. So in this scenario, anyways, this will be helpful to optimize your cost, to rationalize your cost, to cut down your expenditure without affecting your revenue, without affecting your work, right? So again, you need to be very smart that if you have limited resources, and you will always have limited resources, mark my word, whether, again, as I said, whether you are a day one old entrepreneur, or you are a kind of 10 years old startup, right? I mean, you will always have limited resources. So then as an entrepreneur, you need to be smart that how you can use your available resources in an effective way. Sustainability is a byproduct of that.
So one more question is from Ramesh. He's in
so maybe I can maybe I can add a little bit. So
yeah, sure.
So I know, so these are theory, but maybe I should also share practical example, because that will be easier for you all to understand. So for example, let's say if you don't have money to hire your employee, for that matter, right? But you can take interns, right? You can take interns. And you won't believe, I mean, during our early days when we did not have money to afford full-time employees, we actually, we used to hire so many interns from all colleges, right? So we used to visit different colleges, all colleges like IIT Kharagpur, all agriculture universities, MBA colleges, or maybe, contacting them through social media, and just to tell them that, hey, so we are trying to do this. Do you want to be part? Come join us for your internship. It will give you good exposure, and it's a win-win situation, because we will get resources for 2-3 months, and you will get a good experience. Your CV or your profile will be stronger. So that's just an example, right, of being, let's say, smart or creative, or again, I mean, a kind of a resourceful. I mean, with limited resources, how you can go ahead. Okay. So that's the thing, right? I mean, in today's world, let's say if you have limited resources, and again, these all are the kind of pathways to sustainability. Okay, so let's say if you do not have a lot of budget for marketing expenditure, right? I mean, right? So technology, you can use social media, you can use search engine optimization and multiple things, right? So solutions are available in this ecosystem. You just need to see that that how much creative you are, right, and how you can use your available resources in a best possible way. And this is a pretty important entrepreneurial skill, because you are always advised to maximize your resources, because you never know what sort of opportunity you will get let's say next day. So if you are not using your resources smartly, probably you might have to miss few opportunities, because by that time you will not have you will have scarce resources. So just I think be cautious around that. That will really help you to sustain.
Yeah, exactly, sir. जब आपने कहा कि interns को hire करें, so we have 70 to 75% people in Maitri who are interns only. Okay, so we have lack of funds, so we are doing through internship. Yeah, and many people are from IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, so they are all in our team, and they are doing good. So next question is from IIT Guwahati. A student from IIT Guwahati, Ramesh, had asked a question that how much college education is important for a startup?
Well, I'll say, again, this is my personal opinion. College education does not play an important role here. The most important thing here, again, for your entrepreneurial journey is your self-confidence, right? How much confident you are that you will achieve your dream, right? Or you will do it. And to generalize, generally, if you are from good college, then by default, basically good college, good institution. This is again what I believe, that good institutions, they only help you to develop this self-confidence quotient. For example, let's say from my college, from my peer, I mean, there are many entrepreneurs, right? I mean, However, you go to IIT for technical education, right? But again, I mean, but many of us, could become a successful entrepreneur. Few of my friends basically they went into film industry. Few of my friends basically they chose sports, right? They became a football trainer for that matter, right? I mean, few of them they became playwriters, right? So or they did a filmmaking course for that. A few of them, of course, I mean, they became bureaucrats. So all I want to say that, I mean, this again, that's just an example. Huh? So what I want to say that good college, good institution, that only helps you because they create a good environment, they create a good ecosystem in that within that boundary, and that is something which helps you to basically to generate enough confidence within you that that let's say if you are determined, you can do anything. Right. I mean, so for example, again, I'll give the same example of college because the question is related to college. For example, you are from IIT Guwahati, right? Uh, how many, let's say, IIT Guwahati students, they opt for core job? Probably less than 20%, right? So many of your seniors or many of your peers, they go for consulting, they go for data analytics, they go for coding, or they go for kind of strategy. Yeah, but very few of them they go for core industry. So the point here is, let's say you have studied mechanical, but still you're getting job in BCG and you're or McKinsey and you're performing well. That's all because the college helps you to gain good to gain enough confidence within you, and at the same time, I mean, again, you are a logical person, right? I mean, your analytical skills and all those things were fine, right? So again, I think so it doesn't really matter. All I can say, because it doesn't really matter that that from which college you are. If you are in good college, that's fine. If you're not in good college, then it's fine as well, right? I mean, all you have to do is to do all those things which will help you to gain that self-confidence, that let's say that you can do whatever you want to achieve in your life, whether it's startup or it's, let's say, politics, or it's UPSC or whatever it is, right? So yeah.
So can I ask the next question?
Sure.
Yeah.
I hope I answered that question.
Yeah. Yes. So the next question is from my side and my experience actually. Many of the people are just think about an idea and go for funds. Means they just want to get funds. And what I suggest to go for a bootstrap or a lean startup. But what do you think about this? Means is new startups should go for funds in early stage, or they should do a lean startup or bootstrap at early stage? What do you think?
Well, there is no general answer, but still there is no general answer that that you should bootstrap for sure. Then only you should go for fundraise, or the thumb rule is to raise your seed capital from investor. There is no general answer, but the right, I think the right the right answer is that you should evaluate yourself that as a startup, where you are ready to raise fund or not. I think that's more important. Whether you qualify at day zero, or let's say you think that no, you qualify after 3 years. I mean, again, it varies from startup to startup, right? So you should check that as a company, as a startup, as an organization, are you ready for this fundraise or not? And what do I mean here? Ready, it means that that, let's say, why do you need fund? You need fund to grow. You need fund to scale up. You need fund to, let's say, develop the product, right? You don't need fund just to survive. No. So for example, let's say if you need fund to kind of, to design a product, the point is that do you qualify? Do you have a very clear prototype design of that product or not? No. So you just need to ask the question, right? Let's say that if are you ready, right? For example, you get the money today. From tomorrow, are you in a position to utilize that money properly or not? because when someone invests, they bring their own set of expectations, and sometimes they bring a different set of complexity as well. For example, if you think that no, at this stage I'm still trying to ideate, I'm still trying to brainstorm that what should be the model and so on, right? That stage is definitely not the right stage to raise money, right? Because you may get lucky to raise funds, but that will be slightly injustice with the startup, injustice to the investor, right? Because investor will start asking for the outcome result, but you as a company, as an entrepreneur, you are not really ready to show that result, and then that's the point where things will go wrong. So it's not about seed or what, like, but you should be careful, right? So for example, again, I'll give an example, right? I mean, as I said earlier, that it took us 2.5 years to understand that in agriculture, what is the right model, right? Which will differentiate with any other model, which will have all sort of, kind of, wow factor in the future. So that's why in those 2.5 years, we never approached any investors. We could have raised, right? I mean, but we never approached. In fact, rather we had opportunity to kind of, to get money from investors, but we said no. When we got the clarity and when we believe that, that now we are ready to kind of, to raise capital, then we went out. And again, this is true for different stages, right? So for example, in case of DeHaat, right, I mean, we raised 2 angel round initially, then we raised first institutional round of $4 million, then we raised a debt round of $3 million, then we raised another bigger round of $12 million. So the question, I mean, it remains valid for every single round, that are we ready kind of for this bigger round or not, right? Because the day when the transaction happens, from very next day, again, I mean, the question you should ask that, that from very next day, are you in a position to use this money, to utilize this money properly or not? So that question basically you should ask yourself.
Yeah.
And this is applicable for me also. This is applicable for every single entrepreneur.
Yeah. And one more question is that in starting days of a startup, so how to find a good team? Means there are a lot of people now. Now generation, I see on internet, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on any site, there are people who just want to be your co-founder or initial team by without asking anything, even not a stipend or not anything. Okay, so how do you think we should make a team in starting days of a startup, and how to find the right people for us?
I know it's hard to evaluate a person, and so one thing is for sure that that the skin has to be in the game for sure. But this is something what you get to know with respect to time, right? I mean, so my suggestion is, like, so many people, and very candidly, I mean, so for example, I'm asked this question earlier also, that because in this conversation, some bit of commercials, are involved too, right? That, let's say, if I'm joining you as a co-founder, how much I will get, what will be my stake, what will be the shareholding pattern, and all those discussions. My thought process or suggestion here will be not to have those conversations on day one, right? I mean, and this is again, I mean, and here you have to be, I mean, again, let's say, I mean, you have to be honest and you have to be transparent. So better way could be to that, hey, so let's say this is the company structure currently. We are open for anything, but today, I mean, we are just meeting first time. Let's spend some time, right? Let's have some dating period, right? Let's have some living period. Then we will see that, that, let's say, are we kind of, good for wedding or not? I think that's the right way. So because with respect to time, you will see what I said earlier, that that as a co-founder, whether you are compatible or not, or whether you have complementary skills or not, or more importantly, right? I mean, whether it's just an overnight dream for you, or you are actually ready to take that plunge. Because as I said earlier, that problems to aani hai, challenges to aayenge. But the point is, at the time of those problems or challenges, your fellow entrepreneur, your co-founder, is he or she, ready to be with you with the same degree of zeal or enthusiasm or not? Because time will answer those questions. I mean, nobody can evaluate these things over just kind of Zoom call or over just one interaction. So I think the better way could be to kind of to give a comfort to each other, that I'm ready to share anything, right? I'm ready to, let's say, share my company with my co-founders by 20%, 30%, 50%, or maybe by 80%. But at this stage, let's not get into that conversation or negotiation. Rather, at this stage, let's say, let's work together, right? Let's work together, just in a good spirit, and let's see that let's say, are we good for each other or not, right? Or are we good for this organization or not? You should keep one thing always, that that nobody is more important than organization, right? Nobody. Whether, I mean, just because the reason that that you are fortunate to start a company, it's not the fact that that's not the reason that you are above organization. So the point is, let's say, if the second person or the third person is adding a lot of value for the organization, of course, I mean, as a person, you should share the pie, because again, we all are here for a larger kind of market cap, which is not really possible without team, without kind of without sharing this pie with other people. We need support. So yeah. So I think all I said, that again, more number of touch points, more interaction, and after that, we should come to the conclusion. In this entire process, commercials should be the last thing to be discussed. Prior to that, you should discuss other important thing, which is the complementary skill set, compatibility, the perseverance, the standard qualification to become an entrepreneur or not. But yeah, not the commercial on very first day, for sure.
So, sir, it is just like we are just reaching the time to be over. So what is the last advice you will like to give all of us who is doing a startup or who is yet to be a startup company?
Lage raho. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. There is no mantra. I mean, I know. I mean, as an individual, we always love to interact with the relatively more experienced people. But the one thing which will always help you, that just keep working, keep going. Because again, I'm a very firm, very strong believer of this. Because you just need to keep working with same effort, with same energy, right? I mean, I'm sure you must be aware of the concept of 10,000 hours, right? Right. So if you have done something in your life for more than 10,000 hours, you become an expert, right? That's theory. So things change, right? I mean, things change. For example, in our case, I mean, during our early days, I mean, nobody was really to kind of to buy the idea, right? But just we kept working. I mean, slowly, steadily, everyone kind of got aligned, and I'm sure in future things will remain same. So just be passionate for what you are building, and I think secondly, again, I mean, you don't need to be worried, with the competition. While you should definitely look at your competitors going forward, but I think the competition should be, I mean, again, you should compete with yourself, right? Rather than you should compete with others. But things really change, right? I mean, in this today's world, things are very dynamic, things are very volatile. If your basic is correct, right, I mean, you will get through the examination, right? So work on your basic, and that basic is discipline, the basic is consistency, the basic is to be kind of visionary, to be creative, to be smartness, and all those things. And yes, so on that note, wish you good luck. Anything for entrepreneurship, Again, I mean, if in future you have any specific question, if I can do anything for you, feel free to contact me through Rohit, and I will try my best to help you guys out. Wish you good luck, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Rohit. Keep it up. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.